Hi, my name is Dr. Uri Burstyn. I'm a veterinarian in Vancouver, BC, and I'd like to welcome you to my series of practical skills for pet owners. I'm here today with my friend Chewbacca, who you'll see in a moment, to talk to you a little bit about how to properly use the leash. Now, this might sound pretty simple, but it actually is not, because I really often see people with their dog on a leash completely misusing it. And the most common issue I see around this is when I see dogs just pulling on the leash and the owner is pulling back and neither one of them has any idea what the other one wants. And there really is absolutely no control over the dog, and the dog really kind of is barely even aware there's a human attached to it. And this is not an ideal scenario. So the most common way to misuse a leash is to use it as a handle, as something that is attached to your dog that you use to pull on your dog. And this is absolutely the wrong way to use it. A leash is a communication tool. For those of you who ride horses, it's no different than the reins on a horse. This is not something, you have a 500, 600 kilogram animal. This is not something you can bully or force to do things. It's something that you can communicate with. So we like to use leashes to communicate with our dog friends. And it's really important that the communication be clear and consistent. Okay, that's all a dog wants from you, is for you to be clear and consistent. Dogs don't misbehave. Dogs always want to please you, but they have a short attention span. There's a lot going on around them, and sometimes they just lose focus on what it is that you want them to do. So when you have a dog on a leash, don't think of it as a handle. Think of it as a way of communicating with your dog when he or she is 6 feet away from you. And the way to accomplish that is to make sure there's no tension on the leash when under normal walking conditions. What you want to do is when your dog moves out of the range of the leash, you give them a short, fairly sharp jerk to let them know that they're moving too far away. And the dog is going to feel nothing, 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 nothing. They get to the limit of the leash and they get, oh, I have to go back here. Okay, and they'll come back in. By the same virtue, if you're walking along and the leash is slack and you want to turn right or left, you simply give it a little tug. And the dog will know that that's the way you want him to move. Or a little tug back if you want him to slow down. Now, obviously, this is not something they're going to figure out on their own. You start walking your puppy on a leash when they're quite young. But if you have consistent and clear leash handling techniques, so if every single time you want to go right, you give it a little tug. Or every time you want to stop, give it a little pull back. Then your puppy's going to learn really quickly that this is what my pack leader wants me to do. And they'll do what you want them to do. That's how dogs are wired. They want to please you. And what you're going to avoid is those puppies that are just straining on a leash, trying to get to other dogs and trying to get across the road and completely ignoring you. So just remember, not a handle, communication tool, and short little jerks with your goal being the relaxation of the leash in between is the way that you communicate with your dog. And if you're consistent and clear about what you want, then your dog will learn from you and they'll learn quickly. Now, if you do have a dog that really is really excited about the world and really wants to pull, just remember, this is not a dog who's naughty or misbehaving himself. This is a dog who simply has a short attention span. And again, sharp tug on the leash. Your goal is to make it go slack. Now, it might require a bit of arm strength, but your goal is to make the leash go slack and then relax it as soon as the dog is doing what you want him to do. And very quickly, they will learn how to communicate with you through this leash. So we're going to go outside now, and me and Chewbacca are going to try to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So I'm going to ask Chewy to demonstrate for me here how to not walk on the leash, and then we'll try to show you how to properly walk on the leash. So, Chewy, come on, off you go. Whoa, there we go. That's what we did not want. We don't want to be pulling on that leash, him pulling that way, me pulling this way, him looking off into entirely wrong direction. And it just turns to a tug of war between me and him, which he'll probably, one of us might win, but both of us will probably not enjoy it very much. So remember, we want to use the leash as a communication tool. We're giving a little jerk, just like that, a little tug. And there we go, look at this, the attention's on me, he's moving with me. Should we go for a walk? There we go. Oh, and come back this way again. Come on, just like that. Notice how when we're using the leash as a communication tool, his attention is kind of in the direction of our travel. So if you want to go this way, he'll pay attention this way without me really having to work my biceps or really pull on that leash. The key here is not to be wrestling, not to oppose my strength to his, but just simply to ask him to come this way. Come on, come this way. And he'll oblige. So that is a dog that's effectively communicating with me, and I'm effectively communicating with him with a leash. Thanks, buddy. Notice again, he's again distracted. He's looking off in the distance. There we go. Just a little tug on the leash brings him back to where I want him to be. So I hope you find this useful. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like and a share. And remember to go out and have fun with your dog.